on my end.
Jeremiah, man, you never said they were recording this, man.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone, for joining us. I'm Miss Matchmaker Denise Levy, and we've got Jeremiah and Sue, who both are my co-hosts. I do want to say that for whatever reason, we're having some poor internet signals. So if the video does go down, you should still have audio, and we can hear you, but you may not be able to see us. We are going to be alternating with some different guests throughout the evening, and we've got a lot we want to talk about tonight. But basically what we want to figure out is, why are we single? Why are we remaining single? So Jeremiah, why don't you start with one of your answers for why are you still single?
Where did he go, Jeremiah?
Oh, he's gonna have to come back. We already lost him.
Jeremiah, man.
How are you, Jeremiah?
All right, he'll call right back in. Ivan, what are some of your reasons why you think you're single?
No, I guess I'm just meant to be single for now, I guess. I mean, I've had friendships that lasted over 30 years, and but relationships, they just come and go, people go into a relationship with you, you figure they know you already, or you know them, and then you get into a relationship with them and everything just changes. Everything, the person you thought you knew is not the same. And, so they want to change you too. And it's kind of late, don't you think? So that's why I'm just kind of like, I'd rather just, take it easy, take my time, get to know people.
That's a good attitude to have.
You never know.
Yeah. I think you're going about it the right way, because really, the bottom line is, with relationships, it's got to be a best friend first.
It helps.
It does. It does. All right, we got Kristen joining us here. Let me go ahead and let her in. And then, hey, Kristen, you made it.
Hey.
Okay, glad to see you. All right, well, Sue, I'm going to go ahead and jump in and ask you the same question, and you can just give me one or two of your little versions of why do you think you're still single?
Well, I moved here, I'm from Costa Rica, for the ones that don't know me, and I moved here 3 years ago, and my biggest excuse has been, lately, that I'm working and trying to get on my 2 feet. And it's just kind of hard when you start a new life in a new country, when even the language is different than mine. I have been really busy trying to get used to all the big changes in my life, and I haven't made the effort, I guess. But
okay.
But right now I'm in a good moment in my life. I'm content with where I am right now, and I think it's a good moment to try to bring someone into my life, not to make me happy, because right now I'm doing pretty good on my own. It's just that it would be nice to have someone to share the nice things in life.
Absolutely. And Kristen, what we're talking about are the reasons why people are single. And for those of you that don't know Kristen, she and I have worked together for years. She's based out of Pensacola, and I'm here in Destin. And Kristen and I can give you the entire list if you guys want. You want to give a bunch of those words we hear all the time, Kristen?
I have to work too much.
Too busy with work, exactly. Yep, I'm working too much. My kids are a priority. I'm not interested in dating till my kids are grown. What else do we hear all the time?
Oh, goodness. I'm having some, give me just 1 second, Denise. I'm having some issues here. I'm hearing somebody else's in the background. I need to go back and log off. I'll be right back.
Actually, do you have your earbuds? That's probably what it is.
Okay, let me go grab them.
Yeah, grab those real quick.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Yeah, going down some of these lists that we have come up with over the years, the things that people tell us all the time when they come in is they're shy and don't want to approach someone. They're just not comfortable. They don't know how to meet the right people. They're not ready to start dating, even though it's been over a year since their last relationship. Jeremiah, you're back with us. What are some of the things that you hear people say as to why they're single?
I think, especially in my area, mostly it's there's just a lack of ways to meet new people. It seems like everywhere you go, it's like the same 20, 30 people, you know. And so I hear that a lot, and I experience that a lot myself as well. So that, and then not having the time really to commit to that, or thinking they do have the time and not having the time.
Right, right. Well, what I want to talk about a little bit is how we're using all of these words almost as excuses that turn into self-fulfilling prophecies. And by trying to change our perspective and really just kind of look at things differently, we can take these excuses, learn from them, and kind of open the doors that are essentially blocking us from finding the relationships that we want. So really, you know, when we believe something, if we believe it long enough, it becomes the truth. So when you say, oh, well, you know, I'm too busy with work, then you're going to stay too busy with work. When the truth is, if the right person was in your life, you'd actually make time for the relationship. So essentially, it's just, you know, taking the way that you view these things and changing your perspective, turning around your thought process. And so I want to talk about some of these things that we go through that actually prevent us from getting into the right mindset to open up those doors that are blocking us from finding relationships and love. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Jeremiah, I think you and I have talked about this a little bit before we got started. And one of the things that we're going to do is really just kind of help people to get through this so that they can learn how to fix it. And when it comes to fixing it, that means doing the work. It means becoming more self-aware. And I got to say, you're probably one of the most self-aware people I work with. So, in that respect, can you tell us a little bit more about how you got there?
Yeah, unfortunately, I went through some really bad relationships, especially one particular bad breakup that really just kind of broke me down to rock bottom. And, you know, I'm sure a lot of people can agree with me when I say that at that particular point in time, there's really nothing nobody can say that's really going to comfort you or give you any kind of words of wisdom. So I actually I got into counseling. I got into counseling actually because I was interested in counseling, but through that I ended up getting counseling myself. So and that just helped me really become more self-aware of you know, who I am, what my flaws are, you know, the issues and the hurts that I carried, and just to really learn how to forgive people, which is a huge, huge thing in today's day and age, and just learn to take one day at a time. You know?
Yep. And I think that that's an important statement, taking one day at a time, because sometimes when we try to rush through all of these things mentally, it gets exhausting. And so we need to learn to be self-aware, but on the other hand, not to beat ourselves up over it.
Right.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to email this to Kristen here so she can follow along with where we're going at the same time. Okay.
Sorry
so specifically,
I got it.
Okay. So specifically, I kind of wrote down just some notes and made a little bit of a list of a lot of the topics that I hear from most people, because, you know, I'm talking to people every single day about why they're single, what's going on in their social life, and how to make a change for the better, how to make a change to make yourself more open to love, attract more love and people into your life. And what it boils down to is really becoming the person that you want to attract. And in order to do that, like I said, it takes a lot of self-awareness and self-reflection. And some of these things we're about to cover may apply to you, some of them may not. But here's what I'd like you to do. If you are signed on through Twitter, you can give what are called props. And that means just hovering over the little hands, and I'm going to do that for Kristen, and clicking them. And what I'd like you to do is, if it applies to you and you can relate, either give some props so we know that we're making sense, or even just jot something in the comments so we know that we're on the right page, okay? So to start with, I think the biggest thing that I see as a mayor, thank you, Ivan, props do work, great. Okay, I think the biggest thing that I see, and Kristen, you'll have to agree with me, is holding on to old negative baggage. And, you know, holding on to that emotional clutter and resentments and not necessarily able to let that stuff go. You want to talk about that for a minute?
Well, you have to let go of the old before you can move forward with the new. That's for sure. Am I sound too loud? Am I okay?
No, you're good.
Okay. Basically, if you have to let go of the past in order to move forward, and really, you know, not feel like coming into a new relationship that, oh, well, because this happened in the previous relationship, you know, you have to give the person a chance, basically, and start fresh. And
yeah, I mean, I totally agree, Kristen.
I can't. My words are not coming to my head the way I want them to come, because I was rustling to try to get on. I had a couple of things going on.
Well, no, I mean, I think really when you examine your past relationships, it's good to try and find patterns. It's good to look for patterns and to understand that you can learn from the past. And it's easier if you can forgive, forget, and move on, but hold on to the lesson. You know, file those emotions away, put the emotion away, make peace with the emotion, and use those lessons to learn from. Look for certain patterns. You know, if you think about it, the one common denominator in failed relationships is what? You.
Right.
So,
your attitude, your mindset.
Yeah, if I can add something to that, I don't think that people realize when you're bringing baggage from a past relationship into a new relationship, you're automatically putting unknown pressure on that partner, because you're already expecting them to act or behave a certain way, and if they don't act or behave that certain way, you're instantly going to basically just mark them off, because they may have like the same hobby as the guy that did last time, or they might do something that the guy, but you know, girl or whatever, did last time. Like I knew a guy who, actually I take it back, it was a girl who her last boyfriend was really big into video games. Like he was obsessed with them, and so because of that, he would not talk to any guys that even remotely enjoyed playing video games. Same with sports, you know, it's things of that nature. So you just automatically assume that somebody's a certain way because of certain actions, and it just places this pressure on the people without them even knowing it.
Yep, and it's really being able to go into a new relationship with a clean slate, you know, and one of the ways that you can do that, I kind of refer to it as having an emotional garage sale, you know, where you take all of those emotions and you put them all out there out on the front yard, and you say, okay, I'm done with them. Pick them up because I'm done. And file that lesson, hold on to that lesson, but let go of those emotions and practice forgiveness. And when I say that, I mean forgive yourself, not just them, but forgive yourself. Cut yourself a little bit of slack.
And think of what you could have done differently and accept it, because it takes two, obviously, so you have to be willing to admit, okay, I could have been better doing this, but, you know, basically accept the responsibility for your outcome.
Absolutely. Well, moving on, the other thing that I see, you know, a lot of times when people come into my office to talk about matchmaking, they've pretty much get a lot of experience in dating. You know, today's society gives us all these online dating sites and Tinders and apps and everything else. And I think what that has done to the dating world nowadays, it's really given us, number one, too many options. And number two, it's teaching us to pass judgment within the first 30 minutes. So, you know, when you go out with someone, why would you even consider passing judgment on that person within 30 minutes? Because you think there's another one if you swipe to the right or to the left? I mean, seriously, that person took the time to make a date with you, to take you somewhere, enjoy your company, get to know you. And I'll be honest, first dates suck. They really do. Everyone is nervous. Everyone says the wrong thing at times. And you're not getting to know that person on a first date. So why not go out 3 or 4 times and really take the time to get to know them before you make that determination? Oh, let's just move on to the next one, and stop looking for the next best thing. It could be right under your nose and you don't even realize it.
Yeah.
True. I mean, Denise, you know me personally. I can't stand online dating. I have terrible luck with it because I'm not able to connect with the person. It's just a bunch of messages. And the fact of the matter is, those people, when they're online dating, they treat that service like a vending machine, you know, and they have a specific checklist of things that they want. And if one thing is missing or out of mark, they just, like you said, they swipe right or swipe left. You know, they don't even get to know the person. And then the fact of the matter is, the person that you've been messaging with for, you know, however many weeks before you meet is never the same person that you meet in person, ever.
Yeah.
It's always a totally different person. So it's frustrating.
Yeah, you're right, Jeremiah. Most of the time, they don't have the, like, physically.
Oh, yeah.
Talking. It's never the same person. Like, I don't know why. And probably the guys have the same problem the women get most of the time. The pictures are like from when they were in high school. Like, keep it real. Like, please, when like right now, I have a profile on Tinder. I think Match.com. I try to keep my pictures like very recent, so I don't like surprises. Like, oh, you don't look like in the picture, because it is uncomfortable, awkward, and I just don't like it. And another thing, a lot of people lie about their age.
Oh, yeah.
How disrespectful I think that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, in my case, I feel more comfortable dating older guys. And when I say older, like, don't get me wrong, it's just like, I'm 37, so for me, like, early 40s is good to go.
Yeah.
And I'm not attracted, I can't help it, to younger guys. When I see a profile that says like 48, it's like, well, that's fine. And the picture is like, well, okay, let's see. And then in person, you realize that guy's not 48. Like, it's like, come on, let me make the decision if I want to date a 52-year-old man. But don't lie about your age. And probably that's one of the things that happen in first date. It can, like, really turn off since the beginning, the date. You know, like, when people don't look like, you know, nothing like the pictures or about the age, or, you know, the kind of things. I just can't help it. I'm not going to try on a second date if we started like that bad, like with that lie.
Yeah, and that's that's what you're going to find when you're using these online sites. And don't get me wrong, I encourage everyone to use every method to try and meet people. But the difference between doing things like that and actually working with someone like myself is that we actually take the time to get to know each person. We verify their age. We have current photos. You know, we know exactly what's going on. You know, criminal background check, everything. And so we're talking like 2 totally different realms from one extreme to another.
Especially with Tinder.
I know. I have used them all. Like, I have been in Tinder, Badoo, POF, Match.com. And the thing is, like, for someone like me, like I'm not a party person. I'm new to this country, to this state, to this city, so I don't have friends. I don't know. I know the people that I work with and in my family, but I don't have like a lot of options or choices. So to me, that works better. Like even from the comfortable of my place, just taking a look of different profiles, because I don't see myself like going to a bar and just sitting, and start talking to the bartender and see if someone approach me. It's just not me. I'm way too shy to do that. I don't mind to go out to eat because I'm not hungry, or to go watch a movie by myself. But like just going out, like thinking that I'm fishing. That's not my thing. So probably that's why since I moved here, I have been like all over those websites. But now I'm here with Denise and see if the way she does things work for me.
Yep. Well, Ivan made a really good point in the comments here. I just saw that. He says, first dates are like interviews. And that's already on my list, Ivan. So let's go ahead and talk about that. Please, people, stop. It's not a job interview. When you're going out on a date, it's to get to know them in a fun way. It's not so that you can determine if it's the person you're going to marry. It's not for you to find out about their childhood or try and get a psychological evaluation. And the questions that you ask on a first date should be very lighthearted, very easy peasy. You want to make the other person feel comfortable. And so if you treat the first date as a job interview, I can pretty much guarantee you're not going to get a second date. It's just not going to happen.
I remember that I told you when we first met. That's exactly how I feel on a first date. Like I'm on an interview to get a job, but I never get the job. Like one interview after another one. Probably because I'm not from this country, I had to answer more questions than everybody else. And why are you here? And do you miss over there? And what, a lot of things, from where I come from and all that. I understand that the people get curious, but sometimes they go too deep in their questions in a first date. And it is so uncomfortable. Things that I wouldn't like to discuss or talk to someone that I just met. Well, it is what it is.
It's true. Yep. Well, the next thing I wanted to bring up is to consider how we treat people. And what I mean by treat people the way we want to be treated. Come on, this is the golden rule. And this is interesting when it comes to dating, because if you were out on a date with someone and they're all snippy with the wait staff or the guy who's, selling you the tickets to a play or whatever, just anyone in the service industry, if you're acting rude and just kind of snippy or, however you want to describe it, I don't like using negative words. But if you're acting that way, your date is going to pick up on that. And that's really a big no. So you want to try and be nice to people, and you really want to, be the best version of your authentic self. Ivan, you're so with my notes. Did someone forward you a copy of them? And, I love it. No, okay. But, you want to be the best version of your authentic self. And, that means be truthful. No matter what, the truth always comes out in the end. So don't try to over-exaggerate things. Don't try to lie or tell half-truths. That's not a way to keep or even start a healthy relationship. And, the whole thing about self-improvement is it's a lifetime process. It doesn't ever stop. And, it's just a matter of being your authentic self, being nice to each person that you interact with, following that golden rule, and then to top that off, staying in the present moment. And I think this is a big one for people. A lot of times people don't realize how very important it is to stay in the present moment and to actually be there with that person on the date. Okay, you don't want to be talking or thinking about your past. You don't want to be worrying about your future. You want to enjoy the moment. And you know, when you dress and it's a first date or even a second or third date for that matter, you know, even in my own marriage, it's like I want to live the moment because nothing in the world else matters. And I'm going to give you guys one hint. The biggest compliment you can pay someone is your undivided attention. And when you're in the present moment and you're giving that person your undivided attention, they're going to love it. They're going to eat that up. So it boils down to being present and having some very good listening skills, knowing what questions you can ask so it doesn't come off like a job interview, you know, learning to ask open-ended questions that aren't quite too personable, but gets them talking, you know, and since I'll mention that, you know, things that people will open up on are going to be talking about maybe their work, if you know that they like their job, family, play books that they've read. You know, you want to stay away from issues that may cause conflict. You know, I always suggest stay away from the topics of religion and politics because, hey, it's a first date. You got plenty of time to get to know their opinions on those things, and you may not agree, so why start off on the wrong foot?
Yeah, that's not a good topic for a first date. Politics usually.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then of course I can't stress enough talking about past relationships. You know, that's such a big one, and you would think it would be common sense, but over and over again I hear feedback from people that I've matched up, and no matter how many times I try to explain it to people, someone always drops that bomb. You know, you go out on a date, you start talking about your ex, the conversation turns negative, it makes you look negative, and I'll be honest, not all guys are stupid and not all women are crazy. So why would you even go there? You know, leave your past to the past, be in the present moment, don't past relationships, just enjoy their company, be present. Do you want to add to that, Jeremiah? I know you're smiling.
Yeah, I mean, I think that most people, and I even had this problem for a while, when they on their first date, they just discuss entirely way too much. I mean, like, I guess it's really easy for complete strangers to just spill their guts out to each other and search for some kind of confirmation or comfort. And you know, I've been on dates where I've heard some crazy stories of past, you know, marriages and things like that, and it really does throw up a red flag.
You've shared some of those with me.
Yeah. So I mean, one time I thought I could have written a book. I was going to call it First Dates and just label all the stories that I heard. But yeah, I mean, again, you know, like you said, keeping it light, doing something fun. I like to do something interactive, easy, you know. Just so one, it's really fun to see somebody's competitive side, to see if they're a sore loser or not, and two, just to be playful as well, you know. And you'll find that when you're actually doing something, you're not sitting there with really, really intense, deep conversation that probably doesn't need to take place on the first date anyway.
Yeah, and that's why, you know, my rule, Jeremiah, is do not go out to dinner on, because that sets it up for the interrogation. Right. So what I usually do with my clients is try to figure out what is a planned activity that both people will enjoy, where you're going to smile, you're going to laugh, you're going to be doing silly things together, you know, and based on input from both people, we've come up with some pretty good dating ideas for first and second dates. So, you know, keep that in mind too. Sometimes going out to dinner for a first date is not always your best option.
What would you say is the best option for a first date?
I'm sorry, I can barely hear you, Sue.
What would you recommend to do on a first date? Like,
well, you know, I mean, it depends on the person. No, not McDonald's, Ivan. It depends on.
Why are you laughing?
Ivan.
I'm laughing at his comments.
I'm gonna drop off
on the side here.
Guys, I'm gonna drop off for a minute and let somebody call in. I'll be back.
Sure. Okay. All right, Kristen, go ahead.
Okay, I want to see this Ivan.
Oh, he was on.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
I'll be back.
Okay. So Sue, your question is, what would I recommend for first dates? And honestly, that really, it depends on the people. I've had some clients that will go out, and I know over here at Kitchenique, they offer cooking classes. You can do that separately, just the two of you, or you can actually do that at a group setting. And so that's one of them that we've come up with. Another one recently that a couple of my clients did was they took that Destin helicopter tour. I've had other clients go out to Santa Rosa Beach, and there's a place you can go horseback riding, paddle boarding, anything outdoor activities in our area. I know it's starting to get a little cold, but you know, most people here are outdoor people, and there's a lot of great things you can do, you know, out on the water, going out on a, you know, they've got that dinner cruise. I'll let Ivan back on here. You know, so it depends on the person. I know you're not a big outdoor person, Sue, but there's a lot of other things that you might be interested in.
Yeah, that's why Jeremiah is laughing.
Yeah, I know it is.
He knows me by now, and the outdoors are not my thing.
Yeah, outdoors are not your thing.
Yeah, people keep saying like, you are in the wrong place then if you don't like the outdoors. It's not my thing.
Yep. But no, we would have to, Kristen's computer just went down. She's texted me. We would have to sit down, you and I, Sue, and go over the things that you would enjoy doing before I was to recommend something. But those are just some in general ideas. And we're waiting for Ivan to join us back again. I want to talk a little bit about one of the biggest blocks that I see, you know, in efforts to attracting the right person. And that's knowing the difference between what men want and what women want. And it's actually a topic that we could go on a, 10-hour series about. But what I did was I picked the two most popular things for what men want and what women want. And I'll tell you, if I'm wrong, Jeremiah, your guy, disagree with me, but men tend to gravitate towards a glowing personality. And, when I say this, I say, be yourself, be your authentic self, but show your passions. If you're passionate about things, make that one of the topics of conversation. Allow yourself to show the things that you are passionate about, because men gravitate towards a passionate woman, and they can see that radiance. They can see their personality shine. When a woman is talking about something that she's truly passionate about, that glow is just gravitating. It's magnetic. And men admire that. They really do. So show confidence, talk about the things that you're really passionate about, and smile. Smile. So many people just forget to smile. So,
Jeremiah, you're not smiling tonight.
Oh.
Serious.
I'm smiling.
And then, go ahead, Jeremiah. You got 2 cents on this, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, being a guy, I would definitely agree with, I think passion in general on both sides is very attractive. It shows that there's liveliness there, that there's interest, that there's goals, that there's a spark, also just that you're interested in doing something. Guys like somebody that they can take with them to do things. They like somebody that's flexible, that's willing to experience new experiences with them. And that's what it's all about, is sharing new experiences and finding, even if you don't have the same interest, finding interests together that you do have, and who knows that you may have had in the first place and didn't know about it. But there definitely has to be a passion and a fire.
But don't you think you can see that in a woman if she's passionate about a topic and you're having that conversation? Doesn't that just make her glow?
Oh yeah, me personally, I'm attracted to a very outgoing lady who is very, not cocky but confident in who she is and knows who she is.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who's very personable, who likes to talk to people, and is an encourager as well. Guys like an encourager, a cheerleader.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
Because guys want to be encouraged in the things that they're doing and the things that they're passionate about as well.
Mm-hmm.
And no better encouragement than from, an awesome woman.
That's a very good point. Very good point. And then from the female's point of view, and Sue, I don't know where you just walked off to, but from the female point of view, you guys got to understand that as women, we want a guy who can really, truly know how to listen. Someone who can actually be there. You know, I said it earlier, the greatest compliment you can give someone is your undivided attention. But if you learn how to listen and respond in a way that shows that you get her, that's going to be so super attractive. And so just being present, listening, and letting her know, hey, I hear what you're saying, whether it's paraphrasing it back to her, parroting behavior, parroting body language, you know, just knowing that you're listening. If she can see that, she's going to be into you, period. We lost Sue, and I'd really like to get a female's opinion on it. Oh, here she comes. Let me let her back on. Here we go. Did you catch that, Sue?
Hold on just a second.
Yeah, you stepped away, but we were talking about how women want a man who truly listens, a man who can get them, and, you know, just basically a man who can really understand and listen. And, you know, let me make one other point with this, because I didn't touch on it. Not necessarily a man who's going to jump in and fix everything. We don't always want everything fixed. Sometimes we just want someone to listen to us. You know, so for all you guys out there listening, for sure, don't always assume that a woman needs all of her problems fixed. She's talking to you. Maybe she's just talking to her that you understand and you listen, and that's extremely attractive. Am I making sense here, guys?
Yes.
Yeah, I guess that means yes. Well, when I go on a date, most of the time I like to listen more than to talk.
Mm-hmm.
I like to see what the other person have to say, and you know, how well he can carry a conversation. It's not that I stay quiet, it's just that.
Well, it should be a give and take, Sue. It really should be a give and take, where the conversation should go both ways. It should flow, you know, and a woman feels listened to, and a man can show that he knows how to do that. And to be able to have the skill to have that type of a conversation, it takes practice.
Yeah, I guess.
It really, I mean, sometimes being too quiet on a date is showing them in the way that you're expressing yourself or not saying much of anything. It might even trigger their fear of rejection and think that they're being rejected too quickly.
Or just come across as a lack of interest in general.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But I do want to talk about fears, because that was actually next on my list. But I want to hit the big three, and that's going to be rejection, commitment, and intimacy. And, you know, I know everyone has fears, and fears are always going to be a part of life. If we didn't have fears and things that scared us, what would we have to work towards? But when we bring these things out on a date, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. And these are issues that, you know, you really should work on before you actually start dating. You know, do things to improve your self-esteem. Do things that will make you feel good about yourself. You know, I know for me, being a girl, I like to go get my hair done or go get my nails done. And it always puts me in a good mood. It makes me happy. And then I forget about different fears. You know, and everybody's going to be different. And because these are such strong emotions, you know, if these are issues that you're dealing with right now, I strongly urge you to start working through them, whether it be on your own, or if you want to reach out to me as a coach where I can help you kind of get through those and take you in the right direction. You know, those fears, when you hold on to them, all you're doing is setting yourself up for disaster. You know, when you're carrying those into a date, and you're not feeling worthy, you're not loving yourself, your self-esteem is down, just like dogs can sense fear, people can sense insecurities. And so if you're not feeling worthy, your date is going to sense that. And if you don't value yourself, how can somebody else? You know, and I've got a comment coming up here. Don't overthink it, let it evolve, which is correct. But we do have to notice what is going on inside ourselves if we're ever going to be able to open up to somebody else. Is that making more sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I think, you know, if these are issues that you're having, things that you're dealing with, because they're so personal and because everybody's answer to them is going to be different, you know, reach out. Let me know if you need someone to talk to. That's my job. This is what I do. This is what I've been doing for nearly 20 years. But if you want to go it on your own, you know, Jeremiah, you've got some great resources. I know you've read a gazillion books. Reach out to Jeremiah if you're more comfortable. You know, fears and feeling of worthiness and self-love, these are some major, major issues that I think if you don't work through and you're dating and you're having these feelings, you're really just going to end up hurting yourself and falling into what I call dating fatigue. And the dating fatigue just means that you're just going to exhaust yourself because it's kind of like beating your head up against a brick wall. And if you continue to do what you've always done, you're going to get the same results. So go back to the psychologies behind it and let's figure out what's going on with you personally so we can move forward. The other thing I did want to touch on a little bit, because I know we are coming close to time to do a couple of wrap-up announcements, is unrealistic expectations. And this is really one of the biggest blocks. And I see this in so many people. And in fact, I'll be really honest with you guys, when I am interviewing people to work with, to become clients, one of the things that I look for is unrealistic expectations, because if they have them, I can't help them. And let me explain what I mean by that. I think expectations are realistic if you have the qualities that you are looking for. If you can offer that quality, then it's a realistic expectation. But if you can't offer it, it becomes unrealistic. So basically what I say is just take a really long, hard look in the mirror and determine, you know, what it is that you want and if you have the same things to offer. If you want someone who's honest, who's caring, someone who's laid back, has a good sense of humor, self-examine and say, okay, well, these are the things that I say I want, but can I provide the same for somebody else? Do I bring those same qualities to the table? You know, having those unrealistic expectations, whether it's about qualities, whether it's about financial status, whether it's about education, when you have the unrealistic expectations, you typically are going to remain single for a much longer period of time. And I'm not saying to settle for anything less than what's going to make you happy. I'm just saying, you know, take a look in the mirror, see what you have to offer before you go asking for it.
I guess I'm mad. So the problem with that is I feel like a lot of people are delusional in who they are. It's kind of like when you take these surveys, these self-surveys, the way that you perceive and see yourself is not necessarily the way that everybody else sees or perceives yourself. In fact, I think with these types of surveys, you should probably take them with a good friend who actually knows you and will tell you the truth about who you really are and what you're really like, instead of the way you think you see yourself. So
absolutely.
That can very easily lead to, you know, poor misjudgment of yourself, really, just because you're just blinded by who you are.
Yep. And if you don't know yourself, like you said, talk to people that you're close to, you know, and sometimes what happens is, you know, when we go to friends and we go to family to get advice, sometimes they end up just telling us what we want to hear. You really need to speak to someone who's not afraid to be honest. And I think really that's what I'm doing here tonight is I'm giving you guys all of these examples so that you can reflect back, think about the conversation and how it applies to you personally, and really be honest with yourself. And what I found over 20 years in doing what I do is people respect me because I am the kind of person that is going to say, here's what we're going to do. This is how I see things. And, you know, if you're not getting that type of direct honesty from friends and family, then talk to somebody who you feel you can get it from.
Yeah, absolutely. A good friend of mine said, you need somebody that knows you and somebody that knows you. So somebody that knows you well, but someone that will also, you know, they'll tell you the truth. They'll tell you, you know, no, you're not this way, or no, you shouldn't do that. They'll actually, you know, give you guidance and counsel instead of just being your friend and telling you what you want to hear.
Exactly. And, you know, I just want to wrap it up because, you know, we've got to do a couple of announcements before we hit 8 o'clock. Really, what I hope that everyone can take from this is that the ability to assess our own patterns and learn from our mistakes, file the emotion away, hold on, try to become ready for a healthy, loving relationship, and really work on ourselves. You know, knowing who we are and what we are trying to do, that's what's going to get us a little bit further. That's what's going to take us to the next level. Excuse me. When we remove all of these blocks, so to speak, you know, all of these things that are keeping us single, and when we understand them, when we can address them, when we can work on them, it becomes so much easier for us to become that person that we're looking for. And when we are that person that we're looking for, you're automatically going to attract that into your life. So I hope everyone's enjoyed today's conversation. I want to go ahead and wrap it up with it. If anyone has any questions, feel free to go ahead and type them in the comments there. And want to discuss a few of our upcoming events. Jeremiah, I'm a bad girl. I don't have my note sheet for the dates. Do you have those down?
We discussed it tentatively. Let me look at my calendar here.
I brought my bag up, but I did not have them in there. I don't think. I'm looking. What we're talking about is doing on Monday the 30th at 7 o'clock. We're going to do our next virtual event, which will be hosted the same way here. For everyone that joined us, I hope you did register so that you can follow and keep up with our events, both virtual and face-to-face. If you have not, feel free to join our meetup group, which is Matchmaking the Gulf Coast. So Monday the 30th at 7 o'clock is our virtual. And then Sue, did you get a chance to talk to the twins?
Well, one of them is out of the country, and the other one wasn't at the restaurant, but I took a look at their calendar, and we are open. So I just Wednesday.
Okay, great.
I put us in for Thursday the 10th.
Okay, so Thursday, December 10th, you guys ready for this? We're going to be hosting at Bric-a-Brac our ugly Christmas sweater contest.
So excited.
Yay.
Yay.
So, you know, please stay in touch, stay registered on our meetup group, on our list when we submit things through Facebook, our invites. You know, we've got a lot of things planned. One of the things that we're going to be looking to do for our ugly sweater Christmas contest is having that be a charitable party. Jeremiah is going to be looking into maybe working with Harvest House or things of that nature, where maybe we can all bring a couple of canned goods for food for the homeless, sweaters, blankets, things of that nature. And we'll get you guys some more details on that as it gets closer. But the next upcoming event is going to be Monday, November 30th, 7 o'clock virtual event, just like we had here tonight. And is there anything else we want to add to this, guys? Jeremiah, Sue?
Let's see. No, I'm looking at my calendar here. Let's see here.
Oh, thanks for joining us, Ivan. Look forward to seeing you more often.
Yeah.
Sorry, you had some problems getting you on there. It might be your internet connection. If anyone's got any questions, okay, we'll try Ivan one more time before we go.
Okay.
I feel bad he hasn't been able to get on except in the beginning there for just a few minutes.
I wish we had more people trying to get on or asking questions.
Yeah, come on, guys. This is supposed to be interactive, not just a lecture.
Yes, I know.
Viewers. I knew it.
Well, I'm sorry.
I wish people were more like talkative or
yeah,
participate in this and on these chats, because it's kind of funny to see how many people we have in our meetups groups that they don't want to not even give us a feedback, like what to do, what kind of events they would like us to put together to to get to know each other. And it's just, I don't know, weird, because this is free. We're not charging. It's just trying to make love happen in there.
Bring people together. Oh, it's your first time, Pink. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you for joining us. Maybe we'll get you to come on as a guest soon. And I think also what we've done is, just so you guys know, before the next event, the next virtual event, it's real easy. If you don't have a Twitter account, sign up for one. And that way you can join it in the comments. You can come take a seat here and join us in the video calls. Just sign up for a Twitter account. That's the only thing you need to do to be able to join us. And I think I'm going to go ahead and say this is it, guys. It's almost 8 o'clock. Thank you all for coming. If you're joining us not on Blab but on the website, feel free to submit your profile. There's information on how to contact me. You can either schedule an appointment to meet with me in my office in Destin, or you can schedule a phone consultation. There's some links to my free database registration. Just kind of look around the page and, whatever you think piques your interest, feel free to fill it out. I'll get in touch with you, and hopefully we'll see you guys next on Monday, November 30th at 7.
Yep.
All right. I'm going to start shutting down, and thank you again, guys.
All right. We'll keep in touch.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Good night, guys.
Bye.